Get this. Top speed was 139 miles an hour. 139 miles an hour? Probably less when it is slung with a full-size torpedo as shown here in this 1/72nd scale, superbly crafted model. Oh my goodness, they did a great job on this. A ready-made die-cast model. Do you guys know what plane this is, and do you know its place in World War II aviation history? That's right, it's a Fairey Swordfish British biplane in service in the very first portion of World War II, and its place in history is it helped sink the German battleship the Bismarck. Some very brave Fairey Swordfish crews attacked the Bismarck at the limits of their range, if I remember correctly, and they were able to jam the rudders of the Bismarck. They didn't sink it, but they jammed the rudders, allowing the Royal Navy to catch up with it and engage the Bismarck. A very capable, probably the deadliest battleship of World War II. Pretty interesting, really cool model. Look, you got a rear gunner in there. That's probably the navigator in the middle. Pilot up front. Camouflage job. So cool. We show some cool things here in TMP. Ain't just about the watches. You'll get many embedded reviews all along the way. Guys seem to like it. Have you seen this knife yet, by the way? This is a Firebird Gonzo. So, same company. It's made by Gonzo. They call it the Firebird series. It is an FH41. This is a slate blue version. D2 steel. Just a really cool knife, man. Really cool. One of those really affordable, totally excellent, from China, Chinese designed blades. So this is not mimicking anything else that I know of. It is its own creature. For the money, just fantastic. The blade shape we've seen in some other, knives that I've reviewed before, like the Kershaw Oh So Sweet. I love that blade shape then, many years ago when I reviewed it. And here it is again. Good jimping. Really nice G10 slate blue scales. It comes in some really beautiful colors. Deep carry pocket clip. Skeletonized down here. And yes, you're looking at my post-surgery hand. I'm still in the arm brace, y'all. Check this out. Just now, the nerve blocker's wearing off. Like, all day yesterday, I couldn't even move my hands. So I had a torn rotator cuff repaired. So this is a one-handed watch review. So that might impose some limitations on me. I'll talk about this competitive option as we move along here. And yeah, cool stuff on the table. Great knife. Really cool plane. Lots of history. It'd be really cool to have one of these in real life. Just as a fun warbird. Fairey Swordfish. Cool. Super slow though. Oh my goodness. Look down on the highway. You'll see cars passing you in a headwind. On we go with a Citizen review. And not only Citizen, but it is one of my favorite chronographs that I have found to date. I have warmed up to chronographs a little bit. Actually, more than a little bit. A lot. Generally through the AV8 brand. Like this one right here. You'll see it again. And so, like, when I first started the watch show, I was like, chronographs, A lot of busyness going on in their dials. I've warmed up to them. I've worn them more and more. I don't mind them. It depends on how they're executed. This is going to be my Citizen Primo. That is Primo Chronograph. That's the name of the watch. It's going to be the 06880 series. And I have 3 to show you. One of them are mine, and the other 2 are on loan. Okay, you ready? Here we go. First one is the one I've worn for probably a year and a half. It is the Blue C8 0680-57L. Look at that bad boy. That is a great looking watch. That is my strap on it, however. That is a red NATO strap I've outfitted on this, again, CA0680 watch, Primo Chronograph in blue. Fantastic looking watch. With a red NATO, oh my goodness, this really works for me personally. Totally works. So that's the first version we're going to consider. It did come, this one came with a leather strap. I don't have it on the table, but it's going to be very similar to this one. Here comes the black carbon fiber faced, by the way, that's what these are. Leather equipped CA0681-03E. Super cool. Now, this one is not, but this one is actually wearing a Nutnfancy hands modification. I did it for a friend. This is his watch. Yep, did I sign it? Nope, I didn't sign it yet. It's before I did that. I need to sign it for him. Bounce back to me for the tabletop review. He absolutely loves it. Fantastic looking watch. We'll look at the complications, the chronograph setup, how it works here in just a second. And then the last one I want to show you, also on loan. This is a gray bracelet equipped, so I did want to show you that. Model number CA068758 Echo in gray titanium coloration. Titanium coloration with a solid link metal bracelet, unadjusted for now. See the call number there, and the retail price. You're not going to even come close to that. These are actually very, very affordable. I think I paid for that blue one like $100 on eBay. This one right here. I'm pretty sure it came with a leather strap. It may have come with a metal bracelet. I generally don't run bracelets for the reasons that I've said before. So 3 variations of the Primo chronograph. Let me get this out of the way. I love their sizing. I love the face execution on these. It just gets it right. The sizing on the Citizen Primo is 45 millimeters by 12 millimeters by 52 lug to lug with a 22 millimeter lug spacing, which makes it very easy to swap in and out straps on, just like I did with the Red NATO. Just a perfect sized watch. That's the first thing I like. It's just ideal. It actually looks larger than it is, doesn't it? It looks like it's like a 47 millimeter watch, but it's not. It's 45. I'm not counting the pushers or the crown. I'm just going case diameter. So that's the first thing I love about it. Another thing I love about it is that it has a pretty large effective face. And the effective face is my measurement. It's my terminology. It's basically not counting the chapter ring. How long is the face where the actual time-telling hands can operate? Huge pet peeve of mine. A lot of watches have these tiny effective faces and these large cases. There are some of those, and I've reviewed them, that I actually like. But more and more, I like a large effective face whenever I can. Make that chapter ring just as skinny as possible, if you would please. And this chapter ring, as you can see, is a tachometer. Use a compute speed based on travel time or measure a distance based on speed. You'll never use it, ever. But, I mean, there's instructions on the internet if you want to learn how to use it. We have smartphones, and your smartphone has a GPS on it. So you're going to more likely use that, or your smartwatch, which I pair my analog watches with all the time, as I've talked about. Look at this blue face, though, how pretty that is. And you see it's got a carbon fiber weave in it. Not only that, this is a solar-powered chronograph, so it runs an Echo B612 movement in it. So all solar-powered, really excellent, so you won't have to fool around with changing batteries. Just throw it in full sunlight. It'll charge up and then run probably for like 6 months when it's new. When it gets some use on it, maybe like 3 months has been my experience, but if you just throw it in the sunlight for a couple hours, you're going to be good. Really cool. Same as the Seiko technology. Seiko, you know, solar powered is just as awesome. Another thing I like about the faces on the Citizen Primo chronograph are the markings. So if you look at the Arabic numerals, notice that here we don't see the Bell and Ross typeface. Thank you, Citizen. I've talked about it in my reviews. I mean, can we please just get away from the Bell and Ross font? It's everywhere. So here we have more of a more modernist approach to the Arabic numerals. And really, all these watches have a racing style to it, kind of like auto racing style. And I really like it. The numerals are just total perfection. And pretty much the hands are as well. Now, I did a hands modification on this because a dude wanted it. I think it did improve the appearance of this Primo a lot. I mean, they were just like the other one, like this one right here. Here's the stock hands. Completely serviceable. Good lume on them. I may remember to show you that. So, they are outlined in some metal there. It is shiny metal in most variations. On this, not so much. It's like black with a lume inset on the hour's hand, on the minute's hand. It's totally fine. The legibility is really increased if you program it to that level here. This one I didn't touch, so this is my Primo. And of course the hands are lined up. Let me see if, yeah, the time's right, so I'm not jacking with it. But this one's really nice. The blue version, Again, the SKU number on that is 680-57L, as in Lima. It's really kind of a matte silver and white combination, which against the blue face provides excellent legibility. I would not program this watch. And then it's got the really cool red chrono hands on it and the subdials. You'll see one subdial is going to show military time, and then this is our pusher to start the chrono seconds hand right there. It's half black and half red in this variation. The other one, this one is like half black, half yellow. This is half orange, half black. So each of the Primos got just a little bit different coloration to them. And this is your totalizer right here. So it'll keep track of a 60-minute timer. And that's all it's going to do. It's not going to be like an infinite timer where it'll just keep looping. And I really like chronos when they do that. Then when you want to reset it, the upper right pusher, hit it. And then hit the bottom one and it'll just reset to 0. We have a recessed date in it. It's pretty much illegible, and in a negative display, it's worthless. And on all these, it's just horrible. But you know what? Again, I'm pairing it with a smartwatch. I never look at my analog watches for the date. I just look at my smartwatch. You know, nowadays it's an Apple Watch, and I'll just go, yeah, okay. I know it's always right. The time's always right, assuming my phone's working, it's connected to the phone. It's always right. Time zone correct, date's correct. I'm just wearing my analog timepieces for enjoyment. Just like you, hopefully. Blue variation. I think this is my favorite. It really is. And then I'm going to say it's really neck and neck between these two. Look at the orange highlights on this one. Not red, but orange. Black CF face on it. Same subdials as before. Totalizer. This is your actual seconds hand. So you have a subdial for the seconds. Running seconds, of course. Military time here. Looking at the case. Fantastic. Fantastic. So it's like bead blasted 316L stainless steel with polished pushers. You have a black bezel ring on it. It wears really flat. Goes under long sleeves really well. If you get the leather strap variations like this one here, again, this black one is 0681-03 Echo. You're going to be so happy with it. I mean, the leather on these Citizens is always just top notch. It's rare that I ever seen a Citizen, or a Seiko for that matter, where the straps are jacked up and you go, that doesn't work. I got to peel it off. I think I did that because it had a metal bracelet, not a leather. So that's why I took it off. This one, I would take this strap off. It's got orange stitching on it. Basket weave pattern. Lined leather. Just nice thick strap. And that gives you the ability to wear it off your wrist and create that breathability under your wrist. I like that. I can't demo it now because I'm one-winged. I have a busted wing over here. But, you know, so a thinner strap, which you can't do in the NATOs, this is with the NATOs too, you got to kind of cinch it to the wrist to get watch stability. But you get a thick leather strap like this, you can wear it loose. So it kind of bounce around on your wrist and get some ventilation on there, dry out the sweat. Really comfortable. Fantastic. You know, the basket weave, is that my favorite pattern? Not really. It reminds me of a Cop Safariland pistol holster. It does, just like it looks, reminds me of a duty holster. It's okay though. Frosted clasp with the logo on it. Screw-in case backs, which are very plain Jane. That's pretty standard at this price point in the Citizen lineup. Love screw-in case back. Like I said, these are solar powered. They should last a very long time. I would estimate about 10 years if you maintain them correctly, like you keep them charged up. Maybe a little bit less, maybe 8 years. But by then you want to replace that MT920 battery. Not too hard to do. I've done it before in some other solar powered watches. Just go to Amazon or eBay, buy your battery, swap it in. Not that big of a deal. Get a case back tool. But again, these are pretty low maintenance watches. Another look at the gray variation. And then we will consider this bracelet, which I have covered because this is a loaner and I can't thrash on it yet. So it has a really cool titanium finish on it, matching the case. Look at that. It's almost like a black chrome titanium appearance. And this is SKU number 068758 Echo Primo Chronograph. Really good looking watch. Wow. You may have noticed on this one I put a crystal protector on it. So this is my armor suit material. These are mineral crystals, not sapphire, nor should they be at this price, nor do I care. I'm saying more and more, I don't need sapphire. Just put a crystal protector on them. It's totally fine. This is, you know, the titanium coloration, gray coloration with yellow highlights. Fabulous. Say in comment which coloration you like better. I'm just curious. Really nice clasp. Very standard for Citizen. They make such great bracelets. They really do. This is a solid link. I think I said that early on. I prefer hollow link. I know I'm different than pretty much every watch reviewer out there. You can generally tell the hollow link because you'll see folds on the main link on the back. And also you can tell by heft. I mean, this is a pretty heavy watch. I would say probably six ounces or so with the unadjusted full bracelet on it. No diver extension on this. I don't think you need it. You do have some adjustment here, micro adjustments, pretty standard with a metal bracelet. My big beef with bracelets is your wrist is always shrinking, expanding, and the bracelet doesn't do anything to follow that change in circumference. It is what it is. And for me to make this heavier watch stable, I kind of got to get it somewhat tight on my wrist, and then when my wrist swells, now it's really tight. And I'm talking about even after doing the micro adjustments. So if you don't know what I'm talking about here, you can actually take your watch pin tool and adjust it, like push those in, and you have just, you know, a few millimeters of adjustment right here. But I do that and it's still too tight on me, and then I'm like, this is just uncomfortable. And they're heavy. I do run some of them on some of the watches, but I generally prefer a NATO, Zulu, or leather strap. I'll say that in pretty much every WRV, unless I change down the road. I don't see it happening though. But if you do like a bracelet, awesome. Get this one, and it's a great value. I mean, these watches, for what you're paying, dude, Citizen quality, solar powered. You got that carbon fiber weave on the solar cell. Goodness sakes, it's just fabulous with really good hands. Like I said, the hands on these, fantastic. Better when they're programmed. Now let's consider some competitive options. This one in the background is actually a much more expensive Tissot Chrono XL, and it's wearing my blood red leather strap that I put on it. So I replaced it, put that on. It just works so well with that sunburst silver. Beautiful. And that's not the seconds hand. That is the chronograph hand running on this Tissot XL, and it's been running for about 4 weeks now. So this is what I'm talking about, an infinite chronograph. It just never resets, keeps lapping. I love that. The reason I like it is because I use this as a seconds hand, not for timing. I just like watching it go round and round. This is my watch. Fantastic watch. Great case quality. They're going to run you a lot more than these Primos, though. You know, it's technically Swiss made, but when I broke into it, I programmed another one of these. There's Chinese. They're made in China. They have Swiss parts made in China. Those are pretty standard. They just slap Swiss made on it to fool everybody. And then, strangely, it does not have a screw-in case back. It's a pry-open case back on this Swiss watch. Doesn't mean I hate it. It's a really good pry-back case. Has a solid polyethylene seal on it. O-ring, I'm talking. That's a pretty plain case back right there. Look at that. Great looking watch, though. That's the first competitive option. Here comes the other one. This is going to be funny. This is actually the no longer produced Hawker Harrier 2 4031-09 in blue camo. The fabulous AV8 micro brand. Programmed by me. So you've seen this watch before in some other WRVs, and the hands were completely different. I programmed these white. Fantastic. Now I have legibility. I painted the chronograph's hand orange. But here's the dealio, and this happens when you program it. I got to get my busted wing out here to show you. So I have a hands interference going on here. And it didn't happen when I put it together, but now it's like that. So pull this out, rotate it. Now watch. See, the hand is totally slipping on the spindle. See how the minute's hand isn't moving at all? Yeah, it's jacked up. So there's an interference between the seconds hand and the hours hand. The watch isn't ruined, but I'm going to have to take it apart and, you know, tweak a little bit and get those hands just right. Such is the nature of programming a watch, taking it apart. It's fraught with mistakes and errors, and sometimes you can completely ruin a watch. But the trade-off, like this Primo, is awesome. By the way, this was a very hard watch to do as well. The Primo was hard to program because the hands clearances there are very tight. Between the hours hands, the seconds hand, the chrono hand, and the minutes hand, tight. It took me probably an hour to program this to get it right. And this one, I guess, will be the same way. That's still a great watch, though. The 4032 or 4031. If you can get this watch, just do it. Just do it. The one thing you need to know about the 4031 is that this is, again, the chrono lapse hand. And so it's not going to be moving unless you use the upper right pusher. And it's not an infinite one either. It goes like 60 minutes and it resets. Great option, though. Great looking watch. Really good looking watch. And it's bigger. This is like a 47 millimeter. Next, competitive. So these competitive options are really a mini watch review in a watch review. It does add play time, but I think most guys really like the competitive offerings. I give them my knife reviews, my gun reviews, my watch reviews. Here comes another one. Highly favored by myself. I love this watch. It's a Casio. Any ideas what it could be? I know, there's a bazillion Casios. Let me help you out. It's the Casio Edifice EFR 558 chronograph. Look how gorgeous that is. Wow, that pops. With my red, white, and blue NATO strap I put on it, I peeled off the original strap and running this one. Wow, that really speaks, doesn't it? So we have a blue sunburst dial. We have a very cool complication in the lower right. That is a 15-minute time tabulation arc on this EFR 558. Pusher's located on the left side. This one's blue, tying into the color theme. We have a 4-screw bezel. It does not rotate, but it's there for looks. Really high legibility hands. This one has not been programmed, doesn't need to be programmed. Nice subdials on it. I will say this, the chronograph function on this particular piece doesn't work. It doesn't work so good. So you can push it around, and this little dial would change a little bit. I contacted the dealer who sold it to me on eBay, and I said, yeah, this doesn't work. And he said, you know what, you can send it back. I'll give you a refund if you like, or I'll just refund $10. What you want to do? I said, I'll keep it. I just kept it, $10 off, and it was already affordable. So I got a really good deal on this. I don't care if the chrono doesn't work. I don't. I'll try to get another one when I tabletop this. We'll see how it works. But I think it's only a 15-minute time tabulation anyhow, so I don't use it. So I don't care. I'm just using the timing. Or, I mean, just a regular timekeeping function on it. Like pretty much all y'all. I think everyone who has a chronograph, they rarely use the functions. This is military time subdial here. Negative date display here. Great casework. EFR 558. Fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I have another one to show you. I know, it's crazy. This is the Ament Micro brand, and man, they make some really cool watches. This is their Berlin chronograph. It has been programmed by myself. Check it out. Ament is the name of it. This is the Berlin model in black. About, I think, 46 millimeters across, not counting the pushers. I did program this one, y'all. So the hands weren't that cool. I just made the hands solid white, and I painted these ones, so they're not taped. And of course, when you paint those hands, it's a one-way ticket. There's no going back. When I tape them, I can always peel the tape off, restore it to original looks. But more and more, I'm painting. Another reason is because some of that loom can be seen through the paint, not the tape. But if you paint them, you can see the loom, depending on how good the loom is. And on these Aments, it's a Chinese-produced chronograph. Pretty much all these on the table are. It's not that great. Whatever. Arabic numerals. Great presentation. You got orange highlights in this Ament Berlin. Perfect strap. I mean, the straps on these Aments are as good as the Aviate brand. They're thick leather. So the same thing applies that I talked about in the Primo chronograph. Screw and case backs. This one's been signed by me since it was programmed. Did this one in June. Great watch. I'll put a link to this one below. They also have a Rotterdam chronograph, which is fantastic. So the Ament Rotterdam and the Ament Berlin, really good competition with the Primo chronograph. Not solar powered, by the way. Neither is that Casio EFR 558. Don't ever discount the so-called fashion brands because they are made in the same factories as these watches are. They're just labeled differently. This is a Tommy Hilfiger chronograph, and it is fantastic. Really, a really nice watch. Although technically it's not a chronograph. Can you see that? The subdials here are just for day, date, military time. It's a psych out, really. But it has a chronograph appearance, doesn't it? I mean, look at the lugs on this thing. Those are cool lugs. The casework, fantastic. Really nice bracelet on it. And I think this is also a solid link bracelet. Could be hollow link. Sometimes they mask it so well you can't tell. Yeah, it's a hollow link. You can see the creases here. I should have been able to tell just because it's not super, super heavy. But it's a super affordable watch. Hilfiger brand. Don't make fun of it. You know, no one's going to notice, oh, I don't want to wear around a fashion watch. Who cares? Look at the appearance. It's fantastic. The Arabic numerals are perfect. The hands are just like, guess what? And Oris. Those are Oris hands they put on this Hilfiger. And I love Oris watches. I mean, it's a more expensive Swiss brand. And in the world of luxury Swiss watches, Oris is like inexpensive. But compared to these, much more. I mean, like an Oris watch will run $2,000 easy. But this has all the functionality of that. It's quartz. All these are quartz. I mean, the Primos are solar powered, of course. Beautiful watch. I love this watch. It needs to be programmed badly. Get rid of that gold flashiness on the hands. The second hand is pretty much invisible against a black face. Turn that into either a red second hand or an orange, and then perfect. There's your competitive options. Woo! Feature length chronograph review. Citizen is the star of the show. I really can't recommend these Primos more. They're fantastic. Again, solar power, great hands, great durability, low maintenance, great straps for really an inexpensive price. I'm talking like $100 on eBay. You hook into a Citizen Primo Chronograph. Nutnfancy.